questioned, Brooklyn would hang in a game. And then the more you got into the series, the more you realized that they weren't going to hang in, that Philly just has way more talent, in fact, that Brooklyn does. And in the end, talent wins out, and that's what you saw. But really what's to be discussed is what Dame Lillard did last night, just to throw up 50. And I want to take a listen to Paul George, who was not happy, who says, that shot was a lucky shot or a bad shot or whatever. Might be true, but it still went in and sent you home. And here's Paul George.
I mean, that's a bad shot. I don't care what anybody says. That's a bad shot. But, hey, he made it. That story won't be told that it was a bad shot. We live with that.
I get it. You look at those shots, you say that's a bad shot just because of where he takes it from. But is there such a thing? See, Steph Curry almost made this 32-footer acceptable. And I know it was, a 37-footer or whatever it was. But it's almost become routine where when guys take shots like that, you think to yourself, that's going to go in. And I told you the stat at the beginning of the show. He's 8 of 12 for 30-plus feet in the postseason. So is it a bad shot? It appears to be a bad shot. But is it? I don't know. Let's go to Dave in Connecticut. Dave, you're on ESPN Radio. What's up, my man?
Not much. I just had the same thing as Paul George. It just occurs to me that is a bad shot. I know it goes in, but what would the dialogue be today if that didn't go in? What would we be saying? It just seems like it's more luck than anything else.
You say that, but Dave, these guys are unbelievable shooting long-range shots. Like when Steph Curry makes those 33-footers, do you say, boy, that's just luck? Or is that part of the arsenal of his game?
It's definitely arsenal for, a majority of these guys. But as a coach on the sidelines, I got to believe you're going, what's he doing dancing around at 40 feet, drive to the basket, and, try to get fouled or kick it to somebody for a 25-footer as opposed to a 40-footer.
It's funny to think, and thanks for the call, Dave, that the 25-footer is the more reasonable and understated shot. Again, certain guys, you just kind of say they have full range, free range. Dame Lillard is one of those guys. He has, we started the show by saying this, he is at that level where he can do almost no wrong right now. He scored 50 last night. Ended the series on a what looked like people saying, you got Paul George, you got the caller saying a terrible shot. That's not a terrible shot. Now, Giannis takes that shot, it's a terrible shot. But there are certain players, and not a lot of them, but certain players that they have no restrictions when it comes to the distance they can shoot from. And Dame Lillard happens to be one of those guys. Now, I thought that San Antonio was going to get by Denver. If Denver does move past and win that series, I think you got to take Portland, don't you? I mean, and talk about a team that gets the most out of what they are. That to me is always the best sign of a good coach. Who gets the most out of what he has talent-wise? Lillard's great. McCollum's great. After that, I mean, there's not a lot of star power on that team, is there? Let's go to John in Florida. John, you're on the Stephen A. Smith Show with Dave Rothenberg sitting in. What's up, John?
Hey, how you doing? Good afternoon.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Hey, I just wanted to implement that I overheard, you and Stephen A., and I wanted to also incorporate that Russell Westbrook and Paul George have both not proven themselves throughout their tenure in the NBA, especially in the playoffs. They haven't. LeBron has stopped them multiple times. Chiming in with the Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard the last few years has been phenomenal. So Paul George hasn't proven himself. I know he was a little injured in the playoffs, but he has not proven himself. And I hate to say it, neither has Westbrook. And I'm just going to, make sure that.
Look, Westbrook, they had the collapse against Golden State. They got bounced in the first round last year. They got bounced in the first round this year. He's got another big-time player alongside him now. Yeah, you know what? There are some guys, and thanks for the call, John, that you look at and you say are 82 gamers, right? That that every single night out there you're going to get this unbelievable effort, and he's going to put up, and literally he's going to put up 25 points and 13 rebounds and 11 assists, and he's going to give you everything that he has. And through 82 games, that's incredible. But then for one reason or another, it ratchets up to a different level, and maybe that's just not meant to be for a guy like Russell Westbrook. Again, I still think he's a wonderful player, but you saw in the biggest moments of this series who was better, him or Dame Lillard, and you don't have to look too far to find the answer to that. Let's go to Jay in Alabama. Jay, you're on ESPN Radio.
Hey, Dave. This may just be a generic question, because I'm not an expert on basketball, but what I have watched out of Russell Westbrook is, this man gives, he goes from 0 to 100 is just as soon as, the game tips off. And do you think it's just possible? I heard Charles Barkley say this last night, and I've been thinking this about this guy, but do you think this guy is just given so much during the regular season that by the time the playoffs gets here, this man is just absolutely burnt out? I mean, I just wanted to hear your opinion on it.
No, I don't think so. I don't, because you can see in spurts that he's capable of doing this in the postseason. It just feels like for whatever reason, the biggest moment, and I don't want to say it's too big for him because I don't believe that. But maybe it's fair to say other guys are just better at succeeding in that moment than he is. Because again, it's not like you watching him; he's 2 for 26, right? He's not egregiously bad. But in the big moments of these huge games, do you look at him and say, "All right, Westbrook, it's his time," like you do with LeBron, like you do with Kyrie Irving? I mean, let's be fair. See, Kyrie Irving is almost, and thanks for the call, Jay, the flip side of this. Kyrie Irving is, I'll make it through the regular season. I'll drag my what feels like old body through the regular season. Get me to the playoffs, and you're going to see a completely different player. And that's what we've seen. Is there a bigger, better closer right now than Kyrie Irving in a big spot? And the answer is probably not. Now, Westbrook, I think 82 games is the better player. But in the postseason, I'll take Irving over Westbrook in a big spot. Down 1, 10 seconds left. To me, that's a no-brainer. Let's go to Mike in New York. Mike, you're on ESPN Radio.
What's going on, Dave?
What's up, Mike? How are you, man?
I'm all right, man. I'm a big fan of the show. Stephen A., man, he's the truth, man.
He is the truth. You think I'm doing a decent job today, though, with him? Not here?
Nah, you do a great job anytime you fill in for him.
All right, good. So you and I are cool.
Nah, we cool all day, every day.
Good. What do you got today, Mike?
Yeah, man. I'm a New York fan. I'm a Knicks fan and I'm a Giants fan. But we talking about the Westbrook situation. He goes 100 miles an hour. He just needs to slow the game down, let the game come to him, and everything will be all right with him. But other than that, I feel like he needs a better coach. I feel like Mark Jackson will get through to him.
Why so?
Because Mark Jackson he's a preacher, and he's somebody that gets the best out of his players. He did it with Golden State. He's the one that should be getting the credit for Steph and Clay and Draymond.
Mike, I appreciate the phone call and thanks for the kind words. I wonder. I mean, again, it's another disappointing ending to a season for Oklahoma City. I wonder if you start to think about what changes can be made. Because you can't just go into this again the same way. It's another year where, if I said to you at the beginning of the year, expectations for OKC. All right, they're bounced in the first round in 5 games. Does that work? No. So you've come up short this year. You came up short last year, and that's on the heels of completely collapsing where you could have made the biggest statement in the franchise's history. So I don't know what the answer is, but you'd have to think that there may be changes coming for the Thunder. ESPN Radio presented by Progressive Insurance, making it so easy to bundle your home and car insurance. Now, 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. We'll continue with the NBA for a couple more minutes, and then, I can't even wait anymore. I'm a Giants fan. They won 8 games the last 2 years. By the end of September, I have nothing to look forward to until the draft. I'm not even exaggerating. When the Giants got, week 5 last year, I started telling my buddies, April 25th. April 25th is the next day that I'm going to be excited about the Giants. So in the 2 o'clock Eastern hour, we're going to get heavy into the NFL draft. Connor Rogers from Bleacher Report is going to join us right at the top of the 2 o'clock hour Eastern, and we're going to take a ton of your calls. But now we stick with the NBA. 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. Rothenberg in for Stephen A., ESPN Radio, and ESPN News.
This show and all of ESPN is streaming.